Tarot Tribe, it's Ethany, and I am here today to talk to you about having healthy boundaries with your tarot reading clients and in your business and in your heart-centered business and your spiritual business. This really can be across the board with anything that you do. So I am a firm believer in boundaries, in having them and keeping them. I am a firm believer in personal and professional boundaries. I have learned through experience. I have been burnt many times, and you will too. It can be something that changes as well. You don't have to just stick boundaries in place and then that's it. You can reevaluate them and replant them and change them again if something is uncomfortable to you. So professional boundaries, if you're going to be running a business, is vital. And I am guilty of letting them get a little blurry at times, but to run a successful business, you need them. All businesses have them. Your business is no different. Whether you're a tarot reader, a healer, you make magic potions, you sell crystals, it doesn't matter. Every business has boundaries. This could be as simple as opening hours, or businesses have those, terms and conditions. So these are some of the things we're going to chat about in a spiritual aspect. So I've gathered together some tips for having healthy boundaries as a professional tarot reader. And as mentioned before, this can be applied to all energy workers or people who work for themselves. So when you let your potential clients know what they're going to get from you and when they're going to get it from you, it gives them more confidence. The unknown elements of working with you disappear. So this is all about personal reflection. So take what resonates with you and leave the rest. So before we kind of get into the tips, I just want to say my number one thing, and if you take only one thing from this video today, please take this: set your boundaries outright. It is a lot harder to set boundaries when you have allowed people to have access to you all the time. So no matter if you take one or all these tips, this is my number one, is to set your boundaries at the beginning of your business, at the very start of the communication with your clients, and keep them. You will not, there's a fear around, but if I'm not accessible, I'm going to lose clients, or if I'm not giving all the time, I'm going to lose clients, and that's hogwash. It's complete hogwash. Your right clients will respect you for your boundaries and your professionalism. So please don't have that as an excuse or a fear about having your boundaries. It's about respecting your energy and your work in the world. So my first tip is to have a routine. A work time and a play time. Work hard, play hard. That is my life. Like I work very hard when I have my working hours, and I enjoy my life, especially with my son, when I'm off the clock. So have your contact or office hours on your website and keep them. So if you are only available for Skype readings for 4 days a week, let people know. If you aren't going to get back to them within a couple of days because you're on holiday, let them know. Because once you start sliding down that all hours contact or personal rabbit hole, it's very hard to go back. Let your clients know when they are going to hear from you and stick with it, or update them if you're running late. But have a routine. What are your work times and what are your play times? This is so vital for your schedule as well, which is a bit of a different thing, and I've talked about this before. But have your office hours and have your work hours and then have your play hours. So my next tip is to take holidays. I know this can seem really hard when you run your own business, and I find it hard to do this still, but you need to do this or you will burn out, and I promise you it will happen. I currently am much better at taking holidays because I've learned far too many times from having everything my body just go, I quit, I'm out, I'm taking a reset, and then I'm pretty much put on my ass without my free will. So you need to take holidays. A really good tip that I have for those of you that work at fairs or do face-to-face readings is to use a timer. So I call this I'm on the clock. I'm on the clock. Tick, 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 tick. Use the time with your readings. You can get an egg timer, use your phone, whatever it is. But it reminds your clients that you have a timed engagement and gives a clear ending time that is external to you. If there's more that you need to share, of course you can go over, or you can get your client to book another reading. So I often say when I'm working like at Reflections and I'm doing face-to-face readings, I have you booked in for 20 minutes today. If I don't have someone straight after, I can say we can go over, but I will have a reminder come up at 20 minutes for our reading to stop. So you're not being impolite, you're just respecting boundaries, especially if someone's paying you for the time. A lot of readers do timed readings, so you want to make sure that you're keeping that. And when you are busy and you do have people waiting, you need to respect them as well. My next tip is to separate your work and life. Have it separate. Have several separate social media accounts if you want. A lot of people don't, but some people do because they have very different, it's very different content, and it's not fake content, it's just different. So not everyone on their professional social media account wants to see the same stuff, and it is your, look man, do whatever you want, it's your Facebook, it's your Instagram, it's whatever, but you can have separate social media accounts, and that can help with separating your work and life, especially if you find it difficult to differentiate that for yourself. You can have separate phone numbers, separate email addresses, or financial accounts or financial records, so it makes it much clearer for you. This has to be personal preference, but I do recommend that you do a few things to help separate your work and your personal life. My last tip for you, which is a big one, and I've got some questions here for you, so do make sure you go over to ethany.com and check out the questions so that you can run through them for yourself, is your tarot code. So this is where you let your potential clients know what your tarot ethics and reading boundaries are. So the first element to this is you can show that your code of practice is on your site, which outlines what kind of tarot readings you offer. So are you okay to read for a third party? Or what about reading for children or teenagers with parental permission, of course? What about readings that are completely out of the question for you? Like, are you not going to touch readings that have to do with health, etc.? Legal advice, all that kind of stuff. And in some states and countries, you really need to make sure that you have a very clear code of practice so that you're not getting in trouble with the LAW. And the second part of this is your code of tarot, which outlines what you believe the tarot can and cannot do. So are you a tarot reader who will predict the future? Are you a tarot reader who is more of a coach and a spiritual mentor? Are you both? Is it a healing tool for you? So this is how you can share with your potential clients what kind of reader you are and what you believe the tarot can do for them. So here are a few things that I've shared with you today that you can consider for your business and website. I'd love to hear what you think about boundaries. Do you find it difficult to have boundaries, or do you find it really easy? Let me know your experiences. I'd love to hear from you, and thank you so very much for watching.